month. So yes, you can even wish her happy birthday as well. And if you're calling on the show when you want to contribute as well. And now moving on, in as much as we talked about this topic extensively concerning all of this, but I've always asked questions of when it comes to a civilian that wants to report any case concerning a Nigerian army personnel that has done a deal with him or her, and you have constantly said on this program, your answers, has always been that the army did not do any work with that person as an institution. It has to be an individual, and the individual is just an army personnel. When he was actually getting involved in that deal, he did not inform the army, and so he's solely on his own. Yeah. And so if you want to sue him, you should sue him as a person, and not as a Nigerian army personnel. And so that has always been the argument, on the program. In as much as, yes, I know that a lot of people will definitely come up with that, but I think it's clear enough so we know what she is talking about. So if you have a case with anyone out there wearing this uniform as a Nigerian army personnel, and the person should actually petition you as a person and not the Nigerian army as an institution. So I think this is clear. I just wanted to point it out so we know where she's coming from. All right, moving on. Konegarbra, last week we discussed court-martial proceedings and the safeguard for suspects during this period. What can you tell us about the proceedings and how is it linked to civil proceedings?
Yes, we have always emphasized severally on this program that the military justice system is a magnificent one, having rules and regulations like any other judiciary. It is important that erring personnel are adequately tried and, if found guilty, accordingly sentenced, as the system is based on discipline and regimentation.
Okay.
There are so many things to discuss about court-martials. First of all, there are certain offenses in the Armed Forces Act that are not applicable to the civil courts, such as failure to perform military duty, disobedience to particular orders, disobedience to standing orders, malingering, absence without leave, and a host of others. All these make the military interesting and a distinct organization. Like I said last week, after a charge has been preferred, the accused will accordingly be tried before a court-martial.
Okay.
And I did say that one of the objections that can be raised by the accused is that the members are below the legal minimum. It is therefore important for me to highlight that Section 129 of the Armed Forces Act provides that there are basically two types of court-martials, which are the special and the general court-martial.
Okay.
A general court-martial shall consist of the president and not less than 4 members, a waiting member, a liaison officer, and a judge advocate, while a special court-martial consists of the president and not less than 2 members, a waiting member, a liaison officer, and a judge advocate.
Okay.
Section 130 also states that a general court-martial can award the punishment authorized by the acts for various offenses and can as well award a death sentence provided the members are not below 7. It is also important for me to say that it is not everyone that can convene a court-martial, as those that can are highlighted in Section 131 of the same Armed Forces Act. It provides that it can be convened by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Chief of Defense Staff, service chiefs, general officers commanding, a brigade commander, colonel, lieutenant colonel, or corresponding rank, having a command of body of troops. All of the members must have served for a minimum period of not less than 5 years in the military. The court shall sit in open court, and I want to say that the members and all the witnesses shall be subjected to oath-taking or affirmation, like in any other regular courts. The books of procedure also include the Evidence Act. I did say that there is open arrest in court-martial, but this is based on Section 123, subsection 6 of the Armed Forces Act, which is likened to bail. Before the President agrees to open arrest, he has to determine the seriousness of the allegation, the need to secure the evidence, the need to prevent the repetition of the offense, necessity to ensure the safety of the person, need to forestall interference with the investigation, prevent escape of the accused, and of course, the criminal record of the accused. Most often at times, open arrest is granted, but with some conditions.
Okay.
Finally, I want to say that after the trial, there is room for petition, revision of findings, and most importantly, the finding of guilt of a court-martial shall not be treated as a finding or sentence until it is confirmed. It can only be confirmed if the Directorate of Legal Services, consisting of seasoned lawyers, do a review of the case in line with extant laws, and their findings and recommendations can be totally different from what the court-martial had initially recorded. I also want to say that after the review, it is subject to confirmation by the Chief of Army Staff in case of soldiers and Army Council in case of officers. All these are checks and balances put in place to ensure that the accused is treated in line with constitutional safeguard, as the vision of the Chief of Army Staff is to have a professionally responsive Nigerian Army in the discharge of its constitutional roles. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Colonel Garba. Lieutenant Fatima Musa, when we use words, in as much as, yes, we know that these words are always used in the military and also in civil court as well, but you like to also tell us what you mean by open arrest and open courts.
Oh, okay. When we say open court, we're saying that the court is open to members of the public, because there's this presumption among the civilians that it is only upon invitation, or it is only when that it is a closed court, like how it is only closed when the members want to deliberate.
Okay.
But the proceedings itself, where there's accused person, then you have the defense counsel, and then you have persons present in court, you can come and watch proceedings. It is an open court, just like how you have the Federal High Court, you have the National Industrial Court, and then you have the other regular courts being open to members of the public. That is how you also have the court-martial being open to members of the public. So it's not restricted to only personnel in the armed forces. It is only when the members want to deliberate, just like also when the judges in regular courts want to deliberate, that is when they now say, okay, they are going to their chambers to go and deliberate. Or for example, if it involves cases of, maybe if it's a high profile case, or if it is one of sexual, if it is one of sexual in sexual nature, that because I remembered vividly one time we were in court, and then you had to do with a victim of, not a court-martial, a regular court. It had to do with a victim who was saying some things against some high-profile persons.
Okay.
So the judge had to say that he wanted the members of the public to leave. He just wanted the counsel of both counsel, that's the defense and the prosecutor present, and they themselves. So it happens everywhere. So that's how it is also in the court-martial as well. Then when we now talk about the open arrest, the open arrest is basically likened to bail in regular setting, where a person is granted bail for certain reasons. For example, if you look at Section 126 of the Armed Forces, a particular paragraph, so it lists the conditions under which a person can be granted this. You have, for example, and which is even likened to that of the civil court, because you have things like the seriousness of the offense. Is it murder? Is it treason? Is it, offenses that, or the prevalence of the offense in the area? for example, kidnapping, those type of high-profile cases? Is it that when the suspect is released, he's going to escape? Is it that he's going to tamper with investigation? Because you know there are cases where if a person is high profile, there's always that tendency that he's going to tamper with investigation and all that. So the court will have to take all this into consideration before it decides whether he's going to grant open arrest, which is bail, they call it in civil parlance, to the suspect, or as we call it now, defense.
All right.
Yes.
All right, Abuja, this is the time we get to open our phone lines for you to also contribute to what we are talking about. If you're out there and you have been listening to the program from the start, this is the time you get to contribute, ask questions. We will like that you will limit your questions to what we are talking about or discussing here. If you've followed us from onset, we would like you to limit your questions to the program Civil Military Hour. Is a program powered by Civil Military Affairs Department of the Nigerian Army, and so it will be good for you to also limit your questions to the Nigerian Army as well. So the number to do this is 0806 396 3643. I'll take the number again, 0806 396 3643. You can also send us text messages to any of the lines I will be calling out here this morning. And so we have your contributions. And please, let's do this on time because we have just a couple of minutes to pack our bags and leave the studio. Now we have another line, the regular line that you are very familiar with, 080-600-7418, 080-600, 080-2600-7418, 080-2600-7418 is another line for you to also call and contribute. And please, let's do this on time, and so we can leave the studio on time for other programs to also strive here. And so let's have you call us on time, 080-2600-7418, 080-2600-7418. And we'll also have another line for you to also call and contribute to what we're talking about. If you have any questions, you can also ask your questions. Send your SMS as well. We will appreciate to read them out here loudly for everyone to also hear what you are talking about. 0806-396-3643. We have the officers from the Department of Civil Military Affairs in the building, and of course they will be answering all of that for you. They will be answering all of the questions you will be asking here. Hello. Hello. You can call back 080-2600-7418, 080-2600-7418, 0806-396-3643 is another line for you to call as well. All right. We'll take a music while we wait for your calls, and we'll come right back.
I saw how Whiskey song. That one sang a lot. How far? I did inquiry for you.
Hello, good morning.
Am I on to the Armed Forces?
Yes, you are on to Armed Forces Radio, and of course the program Civil Military Hour on Armed Forces Radio.
My name is Nesto. I'm calling from Papen.
I didn't get your name
Can you
correctly.
hear me?
Your name, please.
Yes, my question is some civilians that have experienced some brutality from soldiers, some of them. Is there any way they can report such a case, or like a two line where they can report such a case?
Okay, you see, listen via your radio. What's your name, please?
I said Nesto from Papen.
Mesu. I didn't get.
Can you hear me?
I didn't get your name. I just get Papi.
I said Nesto.
Mento. Okay, listen via your radio.
My radio is not on. It's off.
So how do you want to get your answer? You just asked a question.
Should I repeat my question?
You just asked a question, and we need to give the answers to the question.
Okay.
So you can listen via your radio, so we don't burn your credit. So Colonel Garba, he asked a question. So
if I get him correctly, he requested to find out where they can lodge complaints.
Yes.
If they are harassed by soldiers.
Yes.
I think we have mentioned this severally during this program, that we have lines. In fact, we have a toll-free line. He can simply call on 193, and from there he can be given directives. We have a human rights desk office that is under the Department of Civil Military Affairs. We have it in Garki here.
Yes.
It's not very far. It's within the metropolis. Our personnel are civil friendly. Members of the public are free to report cases of such nature anytime. So I think he should endeavor to listen to this program. He should endeavor to listen to more of such programs so that he can get some of this information. And I know that even Armed Forces Radio sends these toll-free numbers
Yes.
almost on daily basis.
Yes.
They send such messages out to the members of the public.
Do you have a call, or do I call out the numbers?
Okay, you can call out the numbers.
So our office is at number 5, Lekki Close, Gariki, Abuja. If you want to reach the Human Rights Desk, our number is 081 60 13 4303. I repeat, 081 60 13 4303. You can send us an email at Nigerian Army, that is na.hrd, that is Human Rights Desk, at army.mil.ng, all in small caps. Then our WhatsApp line is 081 61 50 7644, 081 61 50 7644, or you visit our website at civilmilitaryaffairs.com.ng, or better still, you come in person at number 5 Lekki Close, Gariki, Abuja.
All right, from Pape, I didn't get your name correctly, but I hope you've actually taken the lines down. And in case you have any complaint, and definitely you should be able to approach the office of the Human Rights Desk of the Nigerian Army, and is a department under Civil Military Affairs of the Nigerian Army, and so that department is actually out of the Army headquarters, and so they even wear civil clothes. Example, the officer in the building is wearing a civil dress that you can also, interact with them freely and no harassment of such. And so you're free to go to that office and lay your complaint, or you can call the numbers as well. And then the shortest number to call and lay your complaint is 193, and you can use any of your network to do that. And now moving on, we have a text message coming from Gwarimpa. This is Hamisu. He said, Osmond Rada from Gwarimpa. Osmond, you're asking a question about what does the Army feel about the kidnapped person that was rearrested by the Nigeria police. What is the take of the Nigerian Army? I would like to say that this program is a program for Civil Military Affairs of the Nigerian Army. And the only person who can answer such a question that you have asked right now will be the Public Relations Officer of the Nigerian Army. He is the one that deals with the Army hierarchy directly, and he has powers to answer such questions. And so it's not everybody on this program that can answer questions that, like I said earlier, most of your questions will not be allowing the officers to answer here, because everybody has their jobs. The job of the civil military is different, and if the information officer of the department, like the Brigadier General that came last week, was here, maybe because he's an information person, but today I don't think your question would definitely fly to get an answer, because that answer needs the PRO of the Army to answer that question. So you wait, when we have him on air, he would definitely attend to that question. So thank you so much for sending in that question. Now we have Promise sending in another message as well. Promise is saying that happy birthday to Lieutenant Musa in the building. We appreciate your work. I would like to join the cadets, the cadetship, you said. Promise, I want to be part of the Nigerian military school students in order to make young cadets learn more of my knowledge. Is admission on? I don't understand the knowledge you are asking about. Promise, what knowledge do you have that you want the cadets to learn from you? Are you talking about the NDA cadets, or are you talking about the military school in Zaria? Which of them? And so you resend your message so we know, and so we advise you properly on what to do as well. So thank you so much, Promise, for sending your message. We also have another message from Agatha. He said, I appreciate you for coming to educate us on how we can lay our complaints in case we have any brutality from the soldiers. Nice one. I'm just hearing this for the first time, but I've gotten the numbers and the office. Thank you so much. This is coming from Gariki as well. Thank you so much for your messages. Now keep them coming, and so we can also end the program in good time as well. Now 0802 600 7418, 0802 600 7418 is the number to call or text. You can also call the line 0806 396 3643 as well to contribute to what we are talking about in the studios with the officers from the Department of Civil Military Affairs, Nigerian Army. Now the program is Civil Military Hour on Armed Forces Radio, powered by the Department of Civil Military Affairs of the Nigerian Army. And of course, the chief of that department is Major General U.S. Usman. And so for you to know and have the details concerning that department as well. Now moving on, another development, the Nigerian Army said it will partner with the UN OCHA to develop capacity to enhance their professionalism in promoting humanitarian principles and conduct during insurgency. Now, how would this help to help on operational, when you're talking about all of this, and we look at the operational military-civil interaction, humanitarian principles, perceptions, action, guidelines, security, and coordination?
Thank you, Judith. First of all, you know that our department is that of the Civil Military Affairs, so it does a lot of partnering, and then it does a lot of collaboration with civil organizations and agencies. Every Wednesday, we go to the ONCHA office where humanitarian actors as well as military come together to look at the way forward, especially as regards the ongoing war in the Northeast.
Sorry, can we just take this call? Hello.
Hello?
Good morning, sir. What's your name?
Judith, good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, brother.
My name is Ajah-mony. I'm calling from National Local Government, National State.
Your name is?
Ajah-mony.
Edo, go ahead.
I would like to appreciate the good work that your research persons are doing in the studio here.
Thank you.
My question goes this way. Do we have a kind of a correctional center for the alien military personnel the way the regular courts do have, maybe, before an alien military personnel like the one that happened in one of the southwest states about rape, which this corporal was dismissed from the service and is still facing the regular court case. So, what is there any place like maybe a correction center in the military whereby some of the alien officers are tried? After being court-martialed, they are going to be reminded there, so as to maybe put them into some kind of reformation that will bring them back to service. Maybe if the offense so committed was not even a high-profile case, so as to even reintegrate them back to the service rather than outright dismissal, as we are having a lot of them roaming about the streets. Is there anything like that, or maybe just court-martialed and then outright dismissal? Is the only penalty in the military? That is my question.
Thank you so much, Odo from Nasarawa. Thank you. Is that all? All right, he has dropped the line. Colonel Garba will answer that, and let's take the answer that Lieutenant Fatima Musa was, giving us before this call came in.
Okay. So, like I was saying, when you look at the humanitarian principles, they provide the foundation for humanitarian actions because they are central to establishing and maintaining access to affected people, whether in natural disaster or complex emergencies, such as armed conflict situations. So basically, with our 4 principles, we have humanity, neutrality, impartiality, and of course, independence. The first 3 were endorsed in the UN General Assembly resolution and was also adopted in 1991, while the 4th was equally adopted in 2004. Now, the principle of humanity, which we have always emphasized and which we always go about preaching to our soldiers and everyone, it emphasizes that human suffering must be addressed whenever it is found. So the protection of life and health, as well as the respect for human beings, is paramount. Then we have the principle of neutrality, which requires that humanitarian actors must not take side in hostilities or engage in controversies of a political, racial, religious, or ideological nature. That is to say, all humanitarian actors are to render humanitarian access or relief to all persons affected by conflict unconditionally. Then the principle of impartiality demands that humanitarian action must be carried on the basis of need alone, giving priority to the most urgent cases of distress. And the last principle, which is that of independence, emphasizes that humanitarian action must be separate from political, economic, or other objectives that any actor may hold with regards to areas where humanitarian action is being implemented. The above principles govern the conduct of humanitarian actors, such as the ICRC and a host of others. The inability to promote and ensure compliance with this will lead to ineffective coordination. That's why the role of the United Nations Office of the Coordinator of Humanitarian Affairs is to coordinate and ensure these humanitarian actors comply with all the principles of humanitarian actions. And like we said, the Nigerian Army is partnering and is always partnering with this United Nations OCHA in all regard. Additionally, the workshop, that is the ones they mostly have, basically collaborated. The participants were able to appreciate the humanitarian principles as well as the need for its observance. So let me stress finally that the principle of impartiality forbids distinction on the basis of nationality, race, gender, religion, belief, class, or political opinions. And the Nigerian Army also operates in this regard because it's federal character.
Okay.
So.
All right. Thank you for that. Now, back to Kone Garba, the question that we have from Odo from Nasarawa State. Do we have a correctional center where we can definitely take our erring soldiers back to, if at all they err, and especially when it comes to a crime that is not seen, that is not that too serious? Do we have anything like that in the Army? Is a question coming from Odo from Nasarawa State. Because he's concerned that we are putting so many soldiers out there in the society, dismissed soldiers out there in the society, and they are becoming a kind of threat. So his concern is if at all there's a correctional center, so that these people are actually sent to such center to be corrected and taken back into the military than sending them out.
Well, as a matter of fact, I'm aware that at the Armed Forces Specialist Hospital in Kano, we have a correction center for soldiers that are believed to be mentally retarded. And also in the Military Reference Hospital at Yaba, we have a center. Basically, what normally happens is because of our involvement in ongoing military operations, like particularly operations in Northeast and other operations, we have where we have soldiers that have suffered from combat stress. So you discover they develop some form of psychological disorder when they come back to, when they are maybe moved from the operations area, they find it difficult to relate well with people in the normal society.
Yeah.
So what normally happens is such personnel are taken for assessment in those to those centers. We have expert psychologists
Okay.
that subject them to undergo such screening, after which an attempt is made to rehabilitate them before they are allowed to go back to their unit. But in a situation whereby a serving personnel
An erring one.
or an erring personnel proves difficult, because most of these cases are as a result of sometimes personnel take illicit drugs, particularly when they are out there in the bush. You know how difficult it can be, and when they come back, they are advised to desist from taking any form of illicit drugs or hemp or what have you, things that can worsen their psychological condition.
Okay.
So when such personnel are warned after having been rehabilitated and they still go back and indulge in such act, the Nigerian Army is a very busy organization. It's a very busy organization. We do not have that time to continue to waste on rehabilitating personnel, then making sure they are back to their normal psychological state, then they go back, then they now return back to normal society, and they continue taking illicit drugs and whatever. That is why most of the times we have medical boarding. So such personnel are usually shortlisted for what we call medical boarding.
Okay.
That is an exercise that drops out such personnel or dismiss them from service. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
So, but they must have been warned. They must have been warned, having been screened and managed in such centers before they are eventually taken out of service.
So I don't know if I can add something to that, because I feel like the question came in two phases. He asked also if the only punishment we have in the army is dismissal.
Is dismissal,
Do you
yeah.
understand? That's as regards to erring personnel, that there are a lot of dismissed persons. So I want to add that there are loads of punishment in the Armed Forces Act, and it is not just dismissal. We have imprisonment with hard labor. We have extra duty not exceeding 7 days. We have confinement not exceeding 7 days. We have reprimand. We have admonition, like he has said. Do you understand? So all these things must have come in before we now start saying, okay, what you get?
Yes.
Like he said, if the offense is not one that is severe. So that's why we have all these other punishment laid out.
Okay.
So there's also admonition as well. But you do not say a person is being charged for murder and he's found guilty, he should be reprimanded. Even in regular courts, it doesn't work that way. Even in other countries, it doesn't work that way. You understand? So basically, if a person is charged for a severe offense and he's found guilty, the law take its toll, and it has to be the punishment that has been prescribed for in the Armed Forces Act. But we also have other punishments, and admonition is one of them.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, the punishments, I'm very sure it has to do with the kind of crimes committed as well.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, thank you so much. I hope, Odu, you've gotten the answers that the officers have given you in the building, and of course, hope you're clear about them as well. And we have a message here coming from Jukwe Bode from Jukwe. Please let me correct one impression. Soldiers don't always brutalize civilians without provocation. Oftentimes, high profile. Oh, there's a call coming in. Last caller for today. Hello.
Hello. It's
Mr. Judy, my name is not Odd. For correction, my name is Inoa Husseini. I'm not supposed to.
Inoa. Okay, Inoa. Okay, Inoa,
Yes.
thank you. You've heard what the officers told you in the building, right?
I had them to my
Okay.
own satisfaction.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. All right, thank you. Inoa from Nasarawa, thank you for calling back. And sometimes when you call and you don't say your names very well, we don't really get how your name is sounding. So sometimes you call and tell us or talk loud so we can actually get your name correctly. Now we have a message from Bode. He said, I was reading it and I'll continue. Oftentimes, high-profile civilians intimidate or threaten soldiers with words such like, I will make you lose your job. I will make sure you lose your job. etc., which provokes uniform personnel, soldiers alike. Please be fair with your judgment in such cases. Because if you do not provoke any soldier, I don't think a soldier is not mad. Thank you so much for sending that message, Bode from Jukwe. Thank you. We'll have another message as well. Another thing, no. Bode, I think we can't take that again now. We'll also have other people waiting as well. So your message has been passed and I'm sure it's taken. We'll have another message from Grace Amadu from Meitama. Good morning, presenter. Nice show, nice education. Kudos to the officers in the building. Nice one. This is what Nigerians need. In the past, we don't have clarification. Until now, people do not seek to get clarification and just say anything concerning the military. Can you do the military job? You cannot. The only thing you have to do is to support the military and wait for answers. The military will always do things in their closet. It's not everything you Nigerians must know. You don't force the military to start telling you what they do. In as much as I even give kudos that they are even coming out to even review so many things, which is not supposed to be. But anyway, that is the system we find ourselves. Kudos to the officers in the building. My regards to the birthday officer. All right, thank you so much. I'm from Itama there, and I'm very sure we will be actually ending that with her. And so, your final words, sir.
Yes, the Nigerian Army is always committed to the safeguard of human rights, and that informed the establishment of the Human Rights Desk and the Nigerian Army Call Center. We have healthy collaboration with civil society organizations and the National Human Rights Commission. Reported cases of alleged human rights violations are also promptly investigated and necessary actions are taken. Personnel who are found culpable are sanctioned accordingly. The Nigerian Army, through the Department of Civil Military Affairs, is engaged in sensitization lectures and workshops to troops to enlighten them about their rights and the rights of others. The Nigerian Army needs the support of the general public by way of cooperation to enable it discharge its constitutional roles creditably. Remember, if you see something, say something.
All right, Abuja, thank you so much. On that note, if you see something, say something. Thank you so much for coming to educate us today. And Colonel Aminu Mustafa Garba is Assistant Director, Civil Liaison in the Department of Civil Military Affairs of the Nigerian Army, right here in Army Headquarters. And of course, our legal officer in the building as well, Lieutenant Fatima Musa. She's of the Human Rights Desk office. And like I said, she's wearing a civil dress, and you can go to the office there. They're all on civil dress and lay your complaints. And if you cannot go to the office, Lakey close, you could call the numbers that are given here so that you lay your complaints genuinely to that office. And of course, your complaints will be looked into. And so thank you so much, officers from the Department of Civil Military Affairs, for coming into the building this morning to educate us. Colonel Garba, thank you, sir, for coming.
Thank you very much.
And of course, Lieutenant Fatima Musa, Thank you so much for coming.
Thank
Happy
you
birthday
very
once
much.
again.
Thank you.
I will get
so
to play you a
much.
birthday song after this
Alright.
program. Thank you so much, Abuja. My name is Judith Gomes. Let's do this again next week. Wednesday, 10:30 is the time. Thank you, Abuja, and have a lovely day.